we broadcast to my one Twitter account, and apparently we can only be on one of the Twitter accounts at a time. We've learned that. So we also broadcast the Twitter space, the same show at the same time, 2 Twitter spaces. And what does that do? Well, it's audio only, so maybe that's not what you're looking for. Okay, well, win for Kilmar. It's audio only, and maybe that's not what you're looking for. But one of the things that we can do with it is put you on the air. And now this is saying incorrect username. So let me work on this too. What in the hell? Yeah, I am not impressed with some of my shit that I got to go through every day. Some of these web browsers that we got to use too are a pain in the ass. So it says the username for our station in London is not correct. Well, I don't know what username it would be. I can't do anything with Rocket Broadcaster now. Like, it's not letting me do anything. I can't even shut it down. And I need to for a second because Task Manager. All right, now hopefully that shut down Rocket Broadcaster. I'll bring it back up. Streams. Okay, try that. Let's go live. Still nothing. The other 3 are there. Streams. I don't know what the hell else. I tried capital. I tried not capital. It's saying incorrect username for a station in London. And I even confirmed that with him. And he confirmed it. So I don't know. But now I'm going to have that going all day. Save. With UG Media. All right. Streams. I hate that I'm not tuning in. There. I mean, I had to get rid of the UG Media for today, and I hate that. But there's that. There's the metadata through Rocket Broadcaster. I'm trying to get our own system implemented. I mean, I'm still actually going to need Rocket Broadcaster because that allows me to broadcast to something called Shoutcast. And that's what UG Media uses in the UK. Our video, I can't do it with our system that way. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. All right, there's that. Streams, are we hitting all destinations there? Instagram, Twitch, DLive, Telegram, Rumble, Facebook. Yeah, all right. Twitter, all 8. The nice thing about that is that when I fully make the switch over, which I think will be at some point this week, to our own system, I can go to as many as I want. I'm not limited to 8 like Restream does. And that's because that's what I'm paying for. Well, I'm paying for it. I'm the bill. So, okay, so there's that one. Phone lines are open. I know I got to finish getting on Discord. There's that. Shout out to Superfan Ken waiting patiently. And there. Discord's ready. Everything else happening. There's that. I'm here. Got a mic in the way of the camera. Let's fix that. Slide that over a little bit so the mic stand doesn't. There we go. All right. All right. Good show yesterday. Another one today, now that I'm started and we're moving. News from Australia. This from our friends at Dare Media. Scotty. There's a case that's pretty big there. We'll get to it. Some issues about the sentence that was handed down. So we'll take a look at that. I'm not familiar enough with it. I don't know it off the top of my head. Also, the Iranian embassy. Yeah. That's embassy and ambassador is a new compound word. Ambassador. The Iranian ambassador was expelled from the country. And that's not all over just Australian news, but that's also coming to us from the AP and some other news sources. Kilmar Garcia gets a ruling in his favor. As you know, the Department of Corruption has done everything in their power to get rid of this guy for whatever reason, just for good measure, just to get a win after their accreditation, their racking up of losses. They got to get a win. And in the process, we're handled another loss. The judge decided that while he's fighting his extradition to Uganda, he stays here. That bunches Pammy's panties. Lisa Cook, governor of the Fed was fired by T-Rump yesterday. Why? No one knows. Probably for the same reason there's federal troops in 2 cities illegally. Because the ballless Congress doesn't have the balls to stand up to him. Her argument, however, is that he doesn't have the authority to fire her. So we'll take a look at that. But also, I have a theory, and we'll take a look at this in depth. Maybe we'll disprove it right away and move on. And no, I know you see me burping, Ken. I've not had coffee yet today. I got up, started working, went right to it. And I did have 1 piece of peanut butter bread. That's what I'm burping up. And it does not taste good a second time. My theory is that this firing is yet another attempt at distraction. So we'll take a look. Also yesterday, Dickless went cashless. T-Rump signed an executive order. Actually, how should I say that? I don't know. Dickless went presenceless on cashless. Cashless bail, something that was allowed in D.C., where there's a lot of people in poverty, thanks to, Trump's economic plan. He did an executive order outlawing that, and something that's already been decided by the Supreme Court to be legal: flag burning. Now, you see a flag flying as our background. We have that every day. One of the things I haven't had recently, and I need to get these back in, and I got some in waiting here that I can just throw in for today, and it would be incredibly appropriate. But I wanted to create a background for the show. Epstein list and on the list. Yeah, that's on the news too. We're not going to talk about it today. But 8647, I got to get rid of actually, I can leave that up and just swap it over. And then get rid of the QR code. 8647, that's going to be there till he's gone. But he signed an executive order banning flag burning. Something that the Supreme Court has already judged to be legal under the First Amendment. And when you have a government like this one, it's kind of necessary. I am not a fan of burning the flag. I'm not a fan of flying the flag upside down, as so many people do. I saw so many of my ignorant neighbors doing just that when Biden was still president. That's not distress. When you fly the flag upside down, that's because you're in need of immediate assistance. Even as bad as things are, or as bad as you thought things were under Biden, you were not in distress. And that is beyond disrespectful. And the same people who have their panties in a bunch now with flag burning and think that Trump's executive order is okay, which is blatantly wrong. They were okay with flying the flag upside down when they knew nothing about distress. And I say the same thing right now to people on the left, be they liberals or progressives or however they identify, who are doing the same thing. Flying the flag upside down just because you got your panties in a bunch is not okay. Burning the flag is indeed extreme. I don't like it. However, when you have a government that's doing what it's doing, this one, in the manner and ways in which it's doing it, sometimes that's what you need to do to get the attention. I think it's just going to be a matter, probably within the next couple of weeks, somebody is going to be arrested for burning the flag. And it's going to go away. It's going to get thrown out. Just like so many of the assault charges against ICE agents have been thrown out. Because a hoagie is not going to hurt you unless you eat it. Back in my day, cops were badasses, not pussies. So this flag burning thing, I'm going to show you how it's just another desperate move from an ailing, weakening dictator. I'm going to show you why people think it's okay for him to do that. When, in fact, if you think that's okay, that's about as un-American as you can be. And when I say it's okay, I mean what Trump is doing. If you are for him in that moment, that you can't get more un-American than that. I didn't say I'm going to go out back today and light up the flag that's hanging over my jet skis, or out front and light up that flag that welcomes you when you pull up in your car. What I'm saying is, if you choose to do so, that is already decided to be your legal right. The people that you have to answer to are the family, friends, and neighbors who may not support you in that decision. And you need to be able to articulate why, at minimum, they simply need to agree to disagree. Aside from that, there's no jail time. It's legal. And to any law enforcement agency, this is a perfect opportunity. Do not arrest for that. You will lose. And you'll be embarrassed in the process. Not because you defended the flag, but because you didn't defend that victim. That victim's, what you would call a defendant, that victim's constitutional right to burn it. If you think that's a lot, wait till we actually get to that in the second hour. And finally, speaking about getting to something, we'll finally talk about the painted crosswalks. I think in addition to, I'm going to paint my driveway in rainbow colors to include the part that goes up to the street, so as to take every opportunity to piss off, whether it's the county or the state or the people who have done nothing but screw me financially since I moved here. Because your whole driveway, you don't actually own your whole driveway. There's a spot in the middle of the street, and they measure a certain amount of feet, depends on the size of each street and so on, towards your house. and it goes into what appears to be your property. That spot is your actual property line. The space between that spot and where the actual roadway is, where like your mailbox might be, is actually still a right-of-way of your local government, county, city, town, whatever. And so to be able to paint that space, probably a big thrill. We'll see. See what we can do. And we'll talk about what we alluded to yesterday, Orlando, also St. Pete. I think Clearwater was another one. There was a smaller one that got bullied first, which is like Trump. It's Ron DeSantis' MO. Pick on the little guy. And he's trying to do that in Orlando, and he's losing. He's getting nothing but negative press. And frankly, there's plenty of back the blue, thin blue line, red blue line, military, POW, all kinds of similar crosswalks. Sorry, they got to go too. You can't ban one and then not ban the others when the ones that you're banning actually meet the standards approved and required by the Department of Transportation. Now, all of a sudden, it's a hazard because our closeted governor tries to bury himself deeper in a closet made of glass. That's today's show. We'll get back to it in a second. I got to get coffee or I'm going to shoot somebody. So let me take a break. When we come back, we'll get started with news from Australia and news about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This is Up the Middle. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be back after these words. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching. Dunk tanks. Sauna. Everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off. You can scream. You can yell. And you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum at Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Dope, that ended fast. Hey gang, it's Jurgs, host of Up the Middle. With my university degrees in history and political science and 21 years as a special agent in the U.S. Secret Service, I've lived what others can only talk about. Join me, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, Monday through Friday, on Jurgs Radio, Rainbow Radio, and Right Talk Radio. Up the Middle. Politics for the rest of us. God damn it, I used to be able to do that in a minute. Oh, we'll be right back. Promise. All right. What else is going on here? Tone tip. Been a while since I talked them up. Let's get them some time. Tone tip. You see a QR code on your screen right now. It takes you to tonetip.com, where we've been asking for you to download the Tone Tip app. Turn the mic on. During that one commercial, you got a tone tip if your mic was on like it should be for Momentum Fitness and Wellness. As soon as I get the rest of my schedule together, the last thing I do before I shut down at night is put together the tone tips for the next day. Finally got some. Put together the tone tips for the next day, so that when I do a story, I can send you the link where I can find that story, where you can find that story on the internet. And you can fact check me. You can tell me I'm full of shit. Or, like Diane refuses to do on Facebook, tell me how awesome I am. Whatever necessary. But you can't do that if you don't know what I'm talking about. And if you're watching from your phone, I gotta text my mom to let her know in the air. I promised I'd give her alerts. If you're watching from your phone, you can't very well. Shout out to Superfan Eric watching today. I just got to message my mom quick. Okay. All right. Pen down the music. Let's get to it. If you're watching and you're doing it from your phone, it's going to be kind of tough for you to scan that QR code, isn't it? If the camera on your phone is what you would use to scan. So we're working with tonetip.com, company making the tone tip. Kind of a Shark Tank thing there. They don't have a company, they have a product, but it's an amazing product. We're in beta with them right now. And what I think is, if they were to do some of the tweaks that we're suggesting, it's still going to be a product, not a company, but it's going to be game changing. It is. And we really appreciate your help and feedback to us here by reaching out Jurgs at mastiff.media and let us know if you are getting some of the tone tips that we send. And don't forget our friends at Dare Media and also Sportcat have all been logged into the system and are also creating plenty of tone tips. So go to tonetip.com, download the app, and use that to follow along. A tone tip, think about it like an audio QR code. So now when you're driving, when you're watching the show from the device you would scan the screen with, you don't have to worry about any of that. Tonetip.com. All right, so Superfan Eric, we were talking about the flag burning earlier, and I'll remind you of this when we get back to it, but just messaged me directly. We know each other outside of radio. And reminded me that the J6ers burned flags at the Capitol. Again, their right to do so. But that's a crime that has gone unpunished. So they were not pardoned for that, Donald. Step up, arrest them too. You want to make a point? I think that's a great place to start. let's talk about Australia. I'll get my browser back here. Some news in Australia before we lose our Australia fans, who, by the way, are now numbering around 1,000. That's pretty awesome. Thank you and welcome. I got to get to Facebook here so I can get some of these new proposed 28th Amendment. I guess we got a story there. God damn. My aunt sent this to me. Hi, we are starting a prayer chain. Oh, Jesus. For all the people in Houston, Texas, please say a prayer and pass it on as you may. What's going on in Texas? Oh, that was in 8/30/17. I have not talked to my aunt on Facebook in 9 years, 8 years. I've talked to my aunt, just not on Facebook. Please read the 28th Amendment, proposed 28th Amendment, and forward. This will only take a minute. I don't know. It took me a minute to scroll through it. 28th Amendment, 35 states and counting. What? Proposed 28th Amendment. Okay. '28th Amendment in simple terms. Guarantees all Americans equal rights and protections under the law. The 4th, 5th, well, actually the first 10, as well as the 14th Amendment, already do that. Okay, well, the 28th Amendment to the Indian Constitution, that's not the same thing. The Equal Rights Amendment is not officially part of the U.S. Constitution as the 28th Amendment, despite reaching the required 38 state ratifications in 2020. Despite reaching the required, wow. Legal and procedural obstacles, including expired ratification deadlines and questions about states rescinding their votes, that prevented its official certification. As a result, the ERA remains in a legal gray area, with advocates continuing to push for its formal recognition and publication by Congress. Congress set a deadline for the ERA's ratification when it was proposed in 1972, which has since expired. I want to know what states rescinded their vote supporting equal rights. And out of 38, who are the 12 asshats that still did not get this through? It's currently 27 amendments. 28th Amendment, which was the most recent, is the Equal Rights Amendment, which was ratified in 2020. The states that ratified the states that equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any other state in account of sex. The process of adding an amendment to the Constitution involves proposals by Congress or National Convention, followed by ratification of 3/4 of the states. Raising the federal minimum age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21. Mandating universal background checks to prevent truly dangerous people from purchasing a gun that could be used in a crime. Instituting a reasonable waiting period for all gun purchases and, cuts off, okay, so I think there's two 28th Amendment proposals, one that has expired, and Gavin Newsom's, which is what I think my aunt is telling me about. Children of Congress members do not have to pay back their college student loans. Staffers of Congress, family members, are also exempt from having to pay back student loans. Members of Congress can retire at a full pay after only one term. I think it's actually 2 terms. Members of Congress have exempted themselves from many of the laws they have passed. That's true. Under which ordinary citizens must live. For example, they're exempt from any fear of prosecution for sexual harassment. And as the latest example, they have exempted themselves from healthcare reform in all of its aspects. We must not tolerate an elite class of such people elected as public servants and then putting themselves above the law. I truly don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or whatever. The self-serving must stop. Governors of 35 states have filed suit against the federal government for imposing unlawful burdens upon their states. It only takes 38 of the 50 to convene a constitutional convention. The problem with that is you convene the constitutional convention. You do not convene it for one issue. You put the constitutional convention in place and everything is on the table. That's why, as much as this all sounds good, I've seen stuff about this before, and it was supposedly actually promoted by the Trump administration and people at 2025, whatever the hell account or act or operation or racist movement 2025, whatever the hell it is, in effort to get the convention in place so that they can be more racist, with eliminating brown people and getting rid of other rights that we already have, or rights that we had, like abortion. So be careful what you wish for. The proposed 28th Amendment, let's see which one she's actually talking about here. Congress shall make no law that applies to the citizens of the United States that does not apply equally to the senators and or representatives. And Congress shall make no law that applies to the senators or the representatives that does not apply equally to the citizens of the United States. Yeah. Congressional Reform Act of 2017. No tenure, no pension. A congressman, woman collects a salary when in office and receives no pay when they're out of office, and no more perks go to them. Clearly, this is not the actual wording. Congress, past, present, and future, participates in Social Security. All funds in the Congressional Retirement Fund move to the Social Security system immediately. All future funds flow into Social Security system, and Congress participates with the American people. It may not be used for any other purpose. Number 3, Congress must purchase their own retirement plan, just as all Americans do. Well, that's not true. Some of us, myself included, have a retirement plan that we purchased when we were employed by the government. And I'll tell you, I deserve it. What I went through, the private sector does not. I deserve to be in my early 50s and receiving a pension. Congress will no longer vote themselves a pay raise. Congress will pay with rise by the lower of CPI or 3%. Congress loses the current healthcare system and participates in the same healthcare system as the American people. I say it's got to be the same as the state that they represent, not anywhere else. Congress must equally abide by all laws they impose on the American people, No more insider trading. All contracts with past and present congressmen, women, are void. The American people did not make this contract with congressmen, women. Congress made these contracts by and for themselves. It's fair. Serving in Congress is an honor and privilege, not a career. The Founding Fathers envisioned citizen legislators should serve their terms, then go home and go back to work, not get all the kinds of freebies. And that's it. Yeah, some good points. That's not the one that Gavin Newsom's forwarding about gun restrictions, which I'm also not for being pro-Second Amendment. I've been saying that we, those of us who are pro-2A, as they call it, need to do a better job policing ourselves, or somebody else is going to come along and do it for us. Absolutely. But where'd he go? Matrix Media. I don't know what this Erin Patterson. Oh, this is the mushroom bitch. She whacked her in-laws by feeding them poisonous mushrooms in beef Wellington. Evil. And now there's something about, I don't know, we'll take a look at that quickly. I don't know that we're going to get to this one. Scotty sent me a story on something else. I can't even figure out what it's about. And then there's the Iranian ambassador. So Erin Patterson. Let me, there we go. Erin Patterson is this divorcee, now living the single life. Ads. Yeah, I don't care if we get ads. What the hell is this? I want it now, but we detected an ad blocker running on this device that impacts your experience. Please disable the ad blocker. I'm on Chrome. Okay, well, let's do this then. Erin Patterson News. See if we can get anything but that particular. There we go. BBC, Guardian, AP. That's a month ago. That's no. Let's go to the BBC. Only survivor of the mushroom lunch says he feels half alive without beautiful wife. So, yeah, one person got sick and the rest died or something like that. Today in court, one after another in quick succession, we heard a series of emotional statements which detailed how Erin Patterson's crimes affected the relatives of her victims. Simon Patterson, her estranged husband, spoke of his inability to describe how much he misses his parents. Ruth Dubios, the daughter of Ian and Heather Wilkinson, told the court Patterson had used her parents' natural kindness against them. Don Patterson's 100-year-old mother shared her grief at having outlived him. But it was Ian Wilkinson, the sole survivor from that meal, who floored the courtroom. He has barely said a word in public since the fatal lunch in 2023. But today, he walked into court and confronted the woman who murdered his wife, snuffed out the lives of his two best friends, and almost killed him too. From the witness box, sitting opposite Aaron Patterson, he tearfully paid tribute to his beautiful wife Heather, spoke of the goodness of Don and Gail's character, and the trauma this ordeal has inflicted on his children. As he neared the end of his statement, Wilkinson's voice became clearer and stronger as he spoke about his desire for justice before offering Patterson his forgiveness. "I bear her no ill will," he said, powerfully declaring, "Now I am no longer Aaron Patterson's victim. She has become the victim of my kindness." Good for you. That's a strong statement. I can only imagine what it took for him to make that statement, the considerations he had to make to come to the decision to do it, and the realization of the possible blowback from the other relatives of those who died in that lunch. She was found guilty, murdering 3 relatives and attempting to murder a 4th in 2023. She's going to be sentenced at a later date. The 50-year-old invited the victims around for a lunch at her home in Victoria, serving them beef Wellington that contained death cap mushrooms. And we said about, what Ian has said, as well as her ex-husband Simon, and how his wife's crimes have taken a severe toll on their children. Saying almost everybody knows their mother murdered their grandparents. Wow. Just let it go. You go to all that and get busted. I don't understand how there's crime. And in some cities, we know that there's hardly any, even though T-Rump will tell you otherwise. Yeah, that's... Oh, wow. All right, so off to the Iranian... Do I want to do that? Yeah, let's do that now. That's a bigger story. Ambassador to Australia. So this, according to NPR, and you see the other agencies, CNN's there, Wall Street Journal, BBC, Washington Post. Everybody is saying that it's over anti-Semitic attacks. And that the Iranian embassy is organizing it. This is a frequent accusation. Not that this specifically, but what they're saying is that the ambassador or enough people in his office that he should know or she should know it's happening is oftentimes and is really a member of that nation's intelligence community. When a Department of State or Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, what's called MOFAT, M-O-F-A-T, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, when they send a delegation to a country, there are some people that are a part of that delegation that are what's called declared, meaning that they walk off the boat or the plane or maybe someday the spaceship and say, "I'm a spy. That's what I do." You're declaring that person to be a part of the visiting country's intelligence service. There are other people there who are not declared. They have a government position, but in all actuality, that's the cover, and they're really part of the intelligence service. Usually that official cover is that they work for, in our case, the State Department or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade or something within the visiting government's structure. So when a bunch of attacks like this come about or are organized and it comes about, the ambassador, who knows everybody in the embassy. I mean, I was in Kuwait years ago over the 4th of July. And we're sitting there, no fireworks, of course, because, it's Kuwait. But we're sitting there to barbecue. I'm talking to this lady sitting aside of me, and she's, F this and, laughing about that and whatever else. Well, welcome, Special Agent Yerger. Have a good visit. How exactly do you know what my name is? I was mother effing people with the ambassador to Kuwait and had no idea. Great barbecue. Nice lady. Still have a wine glass from the gift shop. But yeah, she's doing her job. She knew everybody at that barbecue. And so when shit goes bad, that's usually the person that falls on the sword. All right, let's see what NPR has to say about it. Okay, did I just click the wrong tab? No, that's okay. Fine. All right. Australia accuses Iran of organizing anti-Semitic attacks and expels ambassador. Dude, Superfan Ken, you're right. As soon as I start sipping the coffee. All right, maybe that'll do better. All right. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese speaks to the media during a press conference at Parliament House in Canberra, Tuesday, August 26th. That was earlier today, our time, yesterday, almost. Yeah, soon to be yesterday, their time. In Melbourne, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese accused Iran of organizing 2 anti-Semitic attacks on Australia and said the country was cutting off diplomatic relations with Tehran in response on Tuesday. The Australian Security Intelligence Organization concluded the Iranian government had directed arson attacks on the Lewis Continental Kitchen, a kosher food company in Sydney, in October last year, and on the Adas Israel Synagogue in Melbourne in December of last year. Iran's government had no immediate reaction. There has been a steep rise in anti-Semitic incidents in Sydney and Melbourne since the Israel-Hamas war began in 2023. Australian authorities have previously said they suspect that foreign actors are paying local criminals for hire to carry out attacks in the country. Police have already arrested at least one suspect in the Sydney cafe fire investigation and 2 suspects directly accused of torching the Melbourne synagogue. ASIO has now gathered enough credible intelligence to reach a deeply disturbing conclusion, Albanese told reporters. The Iranian government directed at least 2 of these attacks. Iran has sought to disguise its involvement, but ASIO assesses it was behind the attacks. These were extraordinary and dangerous attacks of aggression orchestrated by a foreign nation on Australian soil. You see, that's war. That's an act of war. When you can actually pin it on another government, that doesn't end well. They were attempts to undermine social cohesion and sow discord in our community. It is totally unacceptable. The 2 things from that are Australia breaks off diplomatic relations and warns a citizen of Iran. Shortly before the announcement, the Australian government told Iran's ambassador to Australia, Ahmed Sadeghi, that he will be expelled. It also withdrew Australian diplomats posted in Iran to a third country, according again to Albanese. An alert to Australians in Iran noted the embassy's closure and urged them to strongly consider leaving as soon as possible if it is safe to do so. Foreigners in Iran, including Australians and dual Australian-Iranian nationals, are at a high risk of arbitrary detention or arrest. Australia updated its warning to travelers to its highest level: do not travel to Iran. Iran has a long history of detaining Westerners or those with ties abroad to use as bargaining chips in negotiations. Foreign Minister Penny Wong said that Canberra would keep some diplomatic lines open to Tehran to advance Australia's interests. She added that it was the first time Australia has expelled an ambassador since World War II. Also, Albanese aims to declare Iran's Revolutionary Guard a terrorist organization. Albanese said that Australia will legislate to list Iran's Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization. Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard has been accused of carrying out attacks abroad over the decades of its existence, though it broadly denies any involvement. The Guard's Quds, or Jerusalem, force is its expeditionary arm and is accused of by Western nations of using local militants and criminals in the past to target dissidents and Israelis. A spokesperson for the Executive Council of Australia Jewry, welcomed that the terrorist designation for the Revolutionary Guard, adding in a statement that the group was outraged that a foreign actor was behind the crimes. Quote, foremost, these were attacks that deliberately targeted Jewish Australians, destroyed a sacred house of worship, caused millions of dollars of damage, and terrified our country. Since the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war, Israel has arrested several people on charges they have been paid or encouraged by Iran to carry out vandalism and monitor potential targets there. The move against Iran came a week after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu branded Albanese a weak politician who had betrayed Israel. But that's not being weak. Just because you're too ignorant to realize that it's not the people. I know that the MAGA morons are fucking up this country. I don't blame all Republicans. I don't blame all Americans. I blame those that are guilty, that have an involvement. You should try that, BB. Okay, so, that's... Yeah, should be in hour number 2. Well, I can get through these, though. There's a lot of what we got to do in hour number 2 is kind of become a little hotter since we first saw it. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, this is going to be really quick. We talked about him at length yesterday. The decision was made by a judge. Of course, the T-Rump administration wants to deport him and get rid of him and be done, even as he's appealing. Well, the judge said no, he's going to stay here. This will go from Newsweek. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's attorney declares victory as deportation temporarily blocked. Let's hear from him.
As Mr. Abrego Garcia the government has expressed that as soon as Mr. Abrego Garcia is released from criminal custody, which we are confident will happen next week, their intention is to redeport him to a third country. Which one? I don't know. It's now been 2 hearings at which they've reiterated that and stated that, and yet they've declined or said that they don't know which country. So for about the 5th or 6th time in this case, the government is trying the trick of sending its lawyers into court with inadequate information, with insufficient information.
As you've heard, drug kingpin Ishmael Zambada Garcia, also known as El Mayo, has confessed to a lifetime of crime.
Oh, just get over yourself. To a lifetime of crime, something that only a blonde attorney general can accomplish. Jesus Christ, bitch. You're not that cool. In fact, you're not that bright either. Okay, go back to the actual story. Here we go. U.S. District Judge Paulina Zenas told Deputy Assistant Attorney General Drew Ensign on Monday afternoon that the U.S. government is absolutely forbidden from removing Abrego Garcia until she holds an evidentiary hearing on Friday. Trump said Abrego is very bad for boats and blamed liberal courts for shielding him. Very bad. Do you see what's happening here? Here's a guy that's been accused of being part of a gang. Hasn't been proven to being part of a gang. Accused of being part of a gang. Something that's not illegal. Then he was accused of a whole shit ton of other shit. None of which was proven. But we're still going to deport him anyway. Finally, T-Rump said something intelligent. Very bad for votes. Yes, because you and your people keep fucking shit up. Maybe if you showed, I don't even want to say compassion, because I know you're going to look like a pussy. Because looking like a fat slob, that's trendy. But showing some decency, showing some respect for due process, something you've blatantly pissed on for the past 7 months. I don't know. What do you think, Donnie? Let it go. You've got your hands in enough other shit that's going to keep you, God forbid, you lose the front page. The problem is, it's not for doing anything decent or good or productive. The economy is worse. At least with Biden, we had stability. Maybe the price of gas wasn't where we wanted it. But at a consistent 3 to 3.10, and it took a while for that change to happen. Just this weekend, I filled up my jet skis because the price of 93 was down to $2.89 a gallon without my discount. Or excuse me, that was the price of 89. So if that's coming down, I know 93 is coming down too. It was down to from 365 to 320. Guess what we were paying for 89 yesterday? $3.22 a gallon. An almost 50-cent shift without any discounts in a day. Why don't you work on that, Donnie? Because I bet you know all the oil companies and you're best friends with them. Maybe you can send the military there. All right, Lisa Cook. Yes, I usually bring these tabs up before the show, but it was one of those mornings. Let's do US because I'm looking for like the whole what's next. I know she has already said he can't fire her. He's got no say. Trump fires Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. What's next? Let me rephrase that heading for you so you get the full picture. Trump fires black female governor Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve over mortgage fraud claims. President Donald Trump on August 25th announced he was firing Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, an unprecedented move that brings the president one step closer to shaping the balance of the Fed's 7-member board in his favor. In a letter shared on Truth Social, because we already talked about that, Trump claimed sufficient cause to remove Cook immediately, pointing to accusations that Cook made false statements on mortgage agreements. Cook said August 26th the president lacked authority to oust her from the board of the central bank. Okay, so she's a board member. It's not like she's head of any one of the Federal Reserve specific districts. She's on the board. The move comes amid Trump's months-long efforts to influence the Fed's decisions on interest rates. Trump had previously focused on pressuring Fed Chair Jerome Powell to lower rates through name-calling and termination threats, although he has since walked back threats to remove Powell. Yeah, why? Again, because he can't do it. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. I guess that's probably going to be the last time he visits Powell at a construction site. Because he got bitch slapped and schooled there, didn't you, Donald? Who is Lisa Cook? Former President Joe Biden appointed Cook as governor of the Federal Reserve in 2022, making her the first black woman in the role. She was reappointed in 2023 for a term set to end in 2038. Before joining the board, Cook served as senior economist on Council of Economic Advisors under former President Barack Obama. From 2000 to 2001, she worked as a senior advisor on finance and development in the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of International Affairs. She also worked as a professor of economics and international relations at Michigan State University, go Big Ten, and one of 7 members of the Fed's Board of Governors. Cook plays a leading role in guiding U.S. monetary policy. She has voted with the majority to keep interest rates steady in recent months, despite Trump's calls for the committee to lower them. I think we all know what the Fed is. Cook says Trump can't remove her. Cook, in a statement released by her lawyer, said that Trump has no causes exist under the law, and he has no authority to remove her from the job. She was appointed to by former President Joe Biden. I will continue to carry out my duties to help the American economy, she said in a statement emailed to USA Today. Abe Lowell, Cook's attorney, said Trump's demands to lack any proper process, basis, or legal authority. We will take whatever actions are needed to prevent this attempted illegal action. How about just go to work? And as you're walking through the door, say, fuck you, Donald. Congressional Black Caucus slams Trump. In the 111-year history of the Federal Reserve, no president has ever attempted to remove a governor of the central bank until now. The Congressional Black Caucus said in a statement torching Trump's moves to fire Cook from the Federal Reserve Board. I'm not calling him president, sorry. T-Rump is attempting to oust Dr. Lisa Cook, the first black woman to serve on the Federal Reserve Board, with no credible evidence of wrongdoing. This is a blatant effort to distract from his other failures, to lower costs for Americans, in a transparent attempt to install a loyalist at the central bank who will carry out his agenda without question. Yeah, I mean, for all of you people who let's do that. I got to share this with you. So one of my neighbors and one of my friends here in the General Pasco area is, where is it? Here we go. Diane Gray. So this lady, who has a very gay cover photo, is friends with my neighbor, Shocker. Is friends with a friend of hers. Shocker. But is also friends with a boating buddy of mine, Michelle, and her husband, Michelle Dolan, who's also running for some local government position in one of the emergency elections. She posted a while ago. I go back to the post. I thought Republicans stood for smaller federal control. It seems that the current administration wants to expand that federal control. And this Jim Wright says, it's not communism, folks. A lot of you are throwing around the word in reference to Trump extorting Intel to hand over 10% of its common stock to the U.S. government. The correct term is state-owned enterprise, or specifically government as shareholder. It is prohibited by most, not all state constitutions, but is legal at the federal level in a vague sort of way. SOE creates a whole raft of problems in our type of government economic system, some obvious, some not. The principal problem with SOE is that when the government owns stock in a corporation, the government assumes both the role of shareholder and regulator of the business, and therefore has a vested interest in manipulating the regulatory environment to favor its investment. In this case, since U.S. government now owns interest in both Intel and NVIDIA, what? Oh, you didn't know about the NVIDIA deal? Trump's government owns stock in NVIDIA, but did take a deal where company pays the U.S. government a 15% share of its revenue for products sold in China. Specifically, H2O chips, which are the GPU processors large AI arrays are based on. And since AI has been deemed a national security issue, NVIDIA has to have Trump's personal permission to sell their chips to China. And in exchange for that permission, they pay Trump's government a percentage. That's called extortion. That's called bribery. So where are my fiscal conservatives at now, who stuck their head in the sand long ago? Call it whatever you like. So again, the U.S. government now owns major financial interests in both Intel and NVIDIA. But the U.S. government is also the regulatory body that governs the same industry, sets taxation on that industry, and controls international trade of that industry's product and its domestic sales. The government regulates those companies' competitors. And now Trump is the legal arbiter of any industry disputes that should arise, like patent infringement, mergers, etc. See the problem? Yeah, so that goes on to explain what I've been saying all along. And so this Diane Cray Cav, a deep clean often appears messy. This process involves clearing away all obstacles, then working from top to bottom, making the final stages more efficient and effective. Again, you're mad at the solution, not the cause. When will you be outraged about the Russia hoax? Oh, I didn't even read this. Oh, you are such a stupid bitch. Oh, don't like it. Laugh at it. There we go. And so, and my head hurts. Mike Gundlach says the left aren't even aware of what really happened here, as CNN or MSDNC never told them or gave marching orders pointed at these newsmakers. Mostly, however, they are blinded by their hate and unable to see the truth. I laughed at that, and I said, wherever mine falls in, MAGA morons are the only ones calling any feelings by the left hate. Literally, I've not heard any people from the left, any progressive, any liberal, any independent. I don't say that I hate Donald Trump. I don't hate anyone. And believe me, there are some people that screwed me hard in life and without lube. So I would have just cause to do so. But I don't hate anyone. Anytime I hear that word, it's from some MAGA moron who can't distinguish between disagreement and flat out telling somebody that they're factually wrong and hate. They don't understand. All the left does is point out obvious facts that sends the elephant squad, Republicans, GOP, into their panties being bunched in Snowflake City. Better luck next time, Twinkle Toes. And there was somebody else. I don't like that when you reply to somebody, it used to put that comment under the comment that you're replying to. Now Facebook doesn't do that. It's one shit show mess. But one of her comments was, yeah, because earlier in this slew of shit, somewhere, she compared me to Dan Bongino. Oh, yeah. God, I wish I could find it because it's actually pretty funny. Because I'm not kidding. I actually had to go back and read my other posts. And of course I troll it. I promote today's show and whatever else. But release the Epstein files, bitch. Yeah, she called me that too. So this Tammy Davidson has to tell her off by saying, again, you're deflecting. Not a Democrat for the umpteenth time. Just someone who cares about other people, especially children. But if you want to support a pedophile, then you go right ahead. I hope there are no young girls being raised by you or any other pedophile supporting Republican. Republicans, the party of pedophiles. Well said. You're going to get a love from that one. This is good. Yeah, I looked at all this shit the other day. Since Trump took office, only 8 months in, natural gas prices are up 25%. Auto prices have increased on an average of $6,000 per vehicle. Gas has not come down to $1.99 anywhere in the U.S. Beef prices are up 80%. True. And that's what I feed my dogs, so I know. Pork prices are up 23%. Grocery prices continue to increase. Eggs are still up, by the way. I just priced them the other day. Electricity is up 19%. Trump's tariffs are expected to cost American household an estimated $2,400 in addition to all the other BS. Is this enough to own the woke libs? Are we great again yet? Yeah, exactly. I'm going to snag that one because those are actually stats I looked up, and that's very true. So, yeah, I mean, this is the stupidity. It's just a constant digging in of the heels. It's okay. Admit that you were lied to. Nothing wrong with that. Don't make matters worse by sitting here and either making excuses or just blatantly putting your head in the sand. What do I say, Ken? What do I say? It's not that hard. Oh, one of my credit cards is almost maxed out. I got to pay that shit off. Yeah, it's not that hard. I saw this one too. MAGA Republican Fort Pierce City Commissioner James Taylor, 38. Wow, he looks 58. God, dude, shave. Try to make yourself look a little younger. Has been arrested and charged with 24 felony counts. Hey, only 10 more to go. 10 more to go and you can be like Trump. 24 felony counts for allegedly sending nude photos and explicit messages via Snapchat to a 12-year-old girl and requesting similar messages in return. His bond is set for $360,000 with restrictions including no contact with the victim, no social media, and surrender his passport. Why don't I see Democratic people like that being arrested? I mean, the worst one I found so far was the dude in Jersey, Bob, the senator who got busted for, I mean, he did it right. I mean, super spy got busted for helping Egypt. I mean, go down like a champ. But try not to do it on a 12-year-old girl. There you go, Diane. Stupid bitch. All right, I've got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about executive orders of cashless bail and burning the flag. And that subtle reminder, J6ers did it too. That will start off with Orlando and other crosswalks, where just the color puts Ronnie Boy's panties in that tight bunch. It squeezes that small dick. It's up the middle on the Mastiff Media Network. Am I pissing you off yet? We'll be back after these words. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum at Momentum Fitness and Wellness. All right, well, let's get right back into it because we're talking about the, yeah, I know, I got to make this a t-shirt. Yeah, and with it almost, I've got two. The one that's almost maxed out is the one for emergencies. So I got to figure out something's repetitive on there. I got to get rid of that. And then get that paid down. Everything else is, as soon as I get paid, which is, what's today? 3 days, Friday, I pay the other credit card off. And that's actually kind of down already. So I'll use the balance of that to pay off the second one and pay the mortgage. And then I live off the first credit card. When that's maxed out, I better have enough food to last me the rest of the month because that's it. And I don't go above that. And that's how I'm saving money. I'm actually putting money away. Superfan Eric said, someone already burned a flag in Lafayette Park. Secret Service Uniform Division arrested the person. He sent it to Instagram, and that's what we got here. There we go. So this is ABC 7. This is from Superfan Eric, but this is ABC 7. And there's protester. Oh, he's got a microphone and everything. See, you got to do it like the Iranians used to do it. Put that thing on a flagpole. And, wow, he's right outside. That's the fence. It's not like he's doing up at G Street. That's on Pennsylvania Avenue. Well done, sir. Hey, you know what? I support the guy. This is he's blatantly trying to make something illegal that's been declared legal. Now, here's a little secret. If this was one of the scheduled demos, this guy already knew he was being arrested. So did the Secret Service. So did the Park Police. I don't know that's what this is, but a lot of those demos that you see on Pennsylvania Avenue, between the North Lawn and where he's actually at, Lafayette Park, they're fake. They're fake. And because of that, you don't see news coverage anymore because they're like, well, they'll be there tomorrow. Literally. That's ABC 7. They've interviewed me when I was attacked by a pit bull. And so that's their watermark up in the top right corner. And he's coming quietly. Did they have him in handcuffs or? Yeah, there you go. There's no, there it is. I hate these mute buttons. Here you go.
Do this for every single one of you American citizens. We burn this flag in protest to that president flag. We do this for respect for our citizens and our constitutional rights. What? I'm not putting it out. I can burn it. It's my right. Executive order that President Trump put forward today.
Yeah, tell him. I'm not putting it out.
According to that executive
bitch, you put it out. You beat Trump's bitch.
Second thing is to show that this president and his lackeys do not believe in the First Amendment.
Yeah, that's true. Trump and his lackeys don't believe in any of the amendments. That's why they're disappearing people. That's why they literally sit down and create laws. How can you call yourself an American? You don't have to be for burning the flag. I'm not for burning the flag. I'm not opposed to it in situations like what our government has now, because clearly no other recourse yielded any results. So at least this man's got somebody's attention. Is 7 News DC, a man was arrested Monday evening after being seen on camera burning an American flag. What they mean by that is there's a camera system around all of the White House, in the building, outside the building, all over the place. They knew he was putting that flag on fire before he got the match out. On camera, burning an American flag in Lafayette Park near the White House. The incident happened only hours after Donald Trump signed an executive order aimed at cracking down on the act of flag burning. Yeah, is he not that bright? Is it basically, does he realize it's basically an invitation to burn flags? I didn't find a decent one, and I doubt that I'm going to. But I was looking for, I'm trying to crack my back. I was looking for a video, like what you see in the background now of the American flag waving. I was looking for a video, and maybe this is going to be part of it. Maybe this is the one. Let's play this again, see if there's a good part.
Every single one of you American citizens.
Boom. Okay, so follow me here, gang. If we crop this section in like a 16:9 frame, and enlarge that to, well, that's not going to work, but enlarge that to our, capture that video like that, and then put that as my backdrop. There you go. There's our flag burning video. That's going to be our new backdrop. So we'll save that and come back and get that later. But I want the actual video, so I'll have to use like OBS to screen capture, then edit, crop it and so on. Or maybe I can just, let me see, screen grab, no overlay. I can probably adjust so that it's cropped in that spot, and to just get like 3 or 4 seconds and just make a loop. Put it, the 3 or 4 second end to end a couple times and make, a 15-second loop. Or do a couple of them. Anyway, yeah, I'm not for burning the flag unless there's no other recourse. I'm not for abortion, but that doesn't mean that a woman shouldn't have that right, even if it's as birth control. That's on her, not me. Well, I mean, it could be, but I doubt it, if you know what I'm saying. This legislating morality that not everybody follows. Keep your religion out of my country. This is our country, not your church. And with this forcing patriotism isn't something that should be forced. Patriotism, like respect, is earned. Patriotism is nothing more than respect at the government level. And it's earned. And when you force it on people, like banning flag burning, you lose that respect. You lose that patriotism. And all you do is cause division. Here you go. You don't believe me? Look at the news, Donnie. You watch the news anyway. I'm sure Fox is going to have an interesting spin on this. Trump hails American company bringing jobs back where it belongs. Okay, that's great. Former Trump advisor's legal troubles mount as FBI seizes evidence and probe. I doubt it. Okay, so this was another story. This happened, Blue City, meaning it's a Democrat city, plagued by bloody weekend as residents say something needs to be done. Guess who the residents were? People from a red city. There's your plague. Trump weighs in on Crackle Barrel logo controversy and what company should do next. Admit a mistake. Yeah, I voted for Donald Trump. I'll never make that mistake again. See how easy it is, people? Even Trump says you can do it. Porn star hits back as claims she used unrecognizable or looks unrecognizable after weight loss. Nobody cares. Florida sheriff wears alleged dealer's $50K bling while announcing drug bust. Grady Judd is a hothead and a media whore. But I kind of like it. At least he's entertaining. He might not know anything about keeping impartial juries intact, but I like his press conferences. Nothing on the flag burning. Nothing on a protest. There you go. Even Fox is reporting that she refuses to resign after Trump says she was removed. Yeah, I don't know if you know it or not, but 23 state AGs, that's not even half. Carjacking suspect calls out soft on crime policies during arrest. Well, good for him. Sheriff to fugitive father after girl's found dead. We just have to be perfect once. I'll tell you what, he looks perfect right now. Oh, see? We can have parking spots painted. Look at that. Oh, we're going to open that one in a new tab. Bruce Willis's wife recalls first signs that he pointed to his dementia battle. He supported Donald Trump. Is that the Phillies? What is that? Oh, we got to let's do some sports quick. Got to take a look at this. Oh, Cardinals. At own coach as he erupts at umpire. St. Louis Cardinals star Will Contreras needed to keep an eye on his coaches rather than the ball on Monday in the team's 7-6 victory of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Contreras was ejected after he struck out in the seventh inning. He erupted in anger at home plate umpire Derek Thomas as he walked back to the dugout and needed to be held back by a few Cardinals coaches, including manager Oliver Marmol. Then the first baseman still had the bat in his hand and threw the bat at the first base coach, Brant Brown. Contreras said he didn't argue any pitches. I didn't argue any pitch, Contreras said. All I said was call the pitches on both sides because you're missing for us. That's arguing pitches, you dumbass. Hey, you want to get rid of some stupid brown people? Start with him. Then I turned around. The next thing I hear, he threw me out. Yeah, because you're arguing balls and strikes. Call the pitches on both sides because you're missing for us. Oh, ignorant assholes. I saw this before this season, too. I wonder what the JS stands for. I wonder if somebody passed away or... Crew Chief Jordan Baker told a pool of reporters that Contreras and Marmol were saying vulgar stuff to Thomas. Baker added that Contreras made contact with the umpire. Oh, that's not going to end well. That's not going to end well. We're going to review the tape and what the office sends to us, and we'll send it in. Send the report to Major League Baseball and let them handle it. That part of it. Yeah. They don't accept touching the umpires. You don't do that. There's bumping. When you get nose to nose, you bump into each other. That I don't say that's a bump. When you beak me, means when you take the brill of your hat and you kind of headbutt me with the brill of your hat, you get dumped. Anything to the head, you get dumped. You touch my face, you go. And I might be touching your face. But yeah, they don't go for the physical shit. Contreras said he apologized to Brown for throwing the bat. I apologize to your wife for killing you. That makes it okay now. He finished the game 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs before he was tossed. St. Louis improved to 65 and 67. Jesus, they both suck. 65 and 60, not even 500 with the win, but remained in fourth place in the National League Central ahead of Pittsburgh. Oh, ahead of Pittsburgh. Okay, yeah. The Pirates fell to 57 and 75. Wow. Yeah. A lot of people there shouldn't be playing in Major League Baseball anymore. I thought there might be video, though. Is this it? Maybe this is it.
And center cut. Contreras looking for something else, and he's retired for out number 2. And Oliver Marmol just got.
What the hell was wrong with that pitch?
Or was it Wilson Contreras?
Yeah, I think it was Contreras walking away. Certainly continued to look back. He's saying he didn't say anything. Now he's saying all those things he said he didn't say.
I wouldn't screw with that crew chief.
Hold him back.
That crew chief's a big boy.
Now, somebody fires a whole box of bubble gum out onto the field between the plate and first.
So that's why you don't chew gum. Because when you get excited, you chew gum faster. That's why you never chew gum. Which is why I wish they still allowed us to chew tobacco. Because calling balls and strikes, it's a lot on your voice. And you don't drink coffee, by the way, Ken. Yeah, okay. So I'm looking for, with Fox is covering this flag burning. And in the comments, Superfan Eric added, and the J6 rioters burned a couple. Do they even have a search feature? Of course not. Oh, there we go. Flag burning Fayette Park. 0. Just the banning. Trump condemns flag burning as DC protesters set flag on fire. That was back in June. Yeah. So nothing except that he did it. He did that. You can't legislate. And that's what if the Supreme Court's going to say, because there's nothing saying otherwise, then Congress can come back and say, we're going to make it illegal. Case can go back to the Supreme Court and they can say, well, under these conditions, Congress is correct and is authorized to make it illegal, or no, bitch, we heard this case already. Scratch it. And, but for T-Rump to just sit there and write an executive order, you can't do that. And this guy in Lafayette Park, he's not going to go down. And this is the concern I have with flag burning or any burning of anything in protest. He might not be guilty of burning the American flag if it's indeed, as it is, legal. The problem is here in rural Florida, because of the weather conditions, we can't be now because it's rained for more than 2 weeks straight. But up until that point, we were under heat advisories and under burn restrictions. So if you had garbage that you were burning or leaves or something of a nature that you're returning it to the earth by burning it, can't do that. The weather doesn't support it. It's a hazard. It's a safety hazard to the community. as would be burning a flag in a federal park that's not set up for something like fireworks or any sort of pyrotechnics. And as such, you may still be able to protest. You just can't burn the flag because of the safety issue. And I think so many of these governments, to show how arrogant they are, Trump being at the top of that arrogant heap, there's the issue of stupidity. Don't say you can't burn the flag because we're forcing patriotism on you. You now control the city of Washington. Maybe an ordinance against burning and leave it wide open. Burning anything without a permit for, returning things to Earth, as an example, for which a permit would not be given for something else, such as a demonstration. This is my point. They take this arrogant approach, and as a result, they step on their own dick. You don't believe me? Let's look at the state of Florida. For years, the various cities throughout the state of Florida and out throughout the country have had rainbow crosswalks supporting
Florida has started enforcing
the LGBT community. Now, this was the one I couldn't think of. Delray Beach. Now they're a hazard. I don't know, is the paint thicker? It causes a speed bump? I don't know what kind of hazard it is. But instead of just saying streets need to be, we'll call it black and white, meaning the color of the street and the one color of the paint in the crosswalks or other street markings, and making it universal. Instead, their bigotry is targeted at the gay community, and they wind up stepping on their dick. You don't believe me? Okay. Let's go to our good old friend Tom. All right, ready to go. Tom Woodard. My price is just search for him because I'll probably find it faster. Where'd you go, Tom? Where's your post? Oh, here's another thing to what's her name? Where is it? Full of shit is all you are. Oh yeah, her post was, I love these two guys too, from the Muppets. I could eat a bowl of alphabet soup and shit a smarter statement. Well, yeah, full of shit is all you are, so that makes sense. But okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it this way. In the interest of time, we got Sport Cut coming in, I guess. He's probably, there we go. Tom Woodard. DeSantis painted over the Pulse Memorial. Yeah, that's where this is going. Yeah. So that's one of them. There's a bunch of them, but I think he was the one that there's the, so it was before this. So I think he was the one who also shared the fact that where's Pedo? That he also had. So this is the story we talked about yesterday. Florida state troopers monitoring the Pulse crosswalk so that nobody paints it rainbow again. That's where your tax dollars are going, Florida, to watch a crosswalk. But here's the story here. All of these must go immediately too. The 9/11 memorial, veteran memorials, firefighter memorials, law enforcement memorials, all of them are the same distraction that the rainbow crosswalks are. And it's only going to be a matter of moments before these are sued and removed as well. And that sucks because these are also worthy causes. That simply painting a fucking crosswalk is, I think, not only enhances the crosswalk, but you can see it better. This is what DeSantis does when he tries to hide his bigotry. Is it pops right out. Back to the baseball. When you get in the face-to-face in baseball and you stop for a second and kiss the umpire on the cheek. No, that's never happened. And there were some guys I wouldn't mind having been kissed by, but I would have kept them in the game or at least met up with them after. This was with regard. I was playing the that clip that Eric sent me. I didn't realize there was audio. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining today. We got somebody waiting patiently backstage, and I want to get to him in a more timely fashion than my historically poor scheduling and rambling has done. Hey, dude, what's happening?
You're bullying me. Stop. You're bullying me. Let me have my time.
Yeah, right. I know.
What's going on, my friend?
What's coming to you today? What's happening?
Oh, I don't know. We got dust storms. We got a zombie spider. And I think there's maybe an alien out there, too. I'm not sure.
What the fuck is a zombie spider?
It's apparently a spider that gets a fungus that grows all over it, and it turns white, and it encapsulates it like a web, and then it comes out of its fungus wrapped whatever and crawls around for a while, then dies.
Okay. All right. And
apparently it's a bad thing. I don't know. We've got zombie deer, zombie squirrels, zombie rabbits, now zombie spiders. So shit, we're all going to die soon. So the aliens can't come quick enough.
Yeah. Knock us out. Get us out of our misery.
I haven't seen a zombie ant. I will research that for tomorrow's show because apparently the animal world is going crazy. So
that's a zombie ant. I
haven't seen that one yet.
I've got a couple zombie umpires, or umpires too, but zombie uncles, but no ants.
Well, you're not allowed to say that anymore. You can't say crazy uncle either. That's no longer correct.
What is it?
You can't say that. You can't say crazy uncle anymore, and you can't say grandfathered or grandfathering. Those are all politically incorrect now.
Who the fuck said that?
I don't know. Apparently, they're putting this stuff into textbooks and law students. So,
well,
yeah, that's a story I got today too. So,
I am grandfathered. Pasco County,
you're not a grandfather.
No. Instead of owning a third of the canal that is behind my house, if you buy the house now, you only own 25% of it. And the county has the middle 50%, which why they need something that big is beyond me. But
dredging, maybe?
Unless you already had a structure that took up your 33%, which I do.
You don't think it's for dredging? I don't know. I don't read done it.
You don't dredge.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
They're supposed to dredge annually, when I moved here. I am now seeing them do the survey to do dredging for the first time in 4 years.
Well, the county's supposed to dredge our lake after multiple lawsuits because of the construction upstream, and it's taken multiple lawsuits to get him to do it once. So I get it.
Yeah. So anyway, I am grandfathered, and I'm going to keep saying that I'm grandfathered just to piss off the county.
That's politically incorrect. You're bullying me. Stop talking like that.
Well,
Ken, it's in the law textbook. If Ken listened to my show, if he didn't think I was such a racist, homophobic, misgynecological, whatever the hell I am.
Yeah, what are you today?
Hell, I don't know. I'm a little of this, a little of that. I don't know. It's not Wednesday. By Wednesday, I'll determine what I am for the week. So,
well, regardless, you sound pretty diverse to me.
Yeah, I guess. Just don't call me gay. I don't. Well, I mean, unless it's in a funny way, but I don't think you can even use that term anymore. So,
what gay means happy, right?
Well, yeah, I said, but is that still applicable? Or did they erase that too? Oh, okay.
No, there's some comedian that's using that. He's done a whole bit on the fact that gay means happy, and people who are anti-gay are the angriest people he's ever met, which makes perfect sense.
I seem to be happy, but it's a facade. I was going to say, and I discovered you can't say gypped anymore.
Well, where does that come from?
Apparently, that's discriminating against gypsies. Who knew?
Oh, how about that?
Apparently, that's actually a real thing. I got lessoned about it on my show. So
here's the thing about why I'm going to still say that. Gypsies are known for gypping you. There are stereotypes that exist for a reason.
That's racist.
Okay. Change your ethnicity then. Or stop gypping people.
I can't help it. I'm a fat, overweight white guy. Oh, wait a minute. I just said two things. So I'm an overweight white guy. I'm not balding though. So
I heard the comma.
So
I think
isn't that two adjectives you can't use together? I don't know. I failed English.
If you insert a comma between the two, you can.
Oh, okay. There you go. Ken, you're getting favorable points for me, buddy. I do love you, Ken, even though you hate me. So
what? I'm not even paying attention to the chat right now. I'm trying to pass.
He's over there going off on me saying I put words in his mouth. So
I hate him, but he's having his own pity party of one.
I am. I'm all alone over here. Nobody listens to me. I get bullied by Ross. So
my views are down today. It's actually really low. But
maybe it's the weather. It's nice out. Maybe people went outside instead of melting.
I got nobody on Twitter today. I usually get like 30 people just on Twitter.
I don't know if I can even check on X. I've never looked. I go live on X, but
I must be shadow banned there too.
Well, they've got me in the YouTube banning because I talk about conspiracy things and I'm not anti-Trump. So it's funny. I can go look at Harley's page.
As you know, I am anti-Trump.
Yes.
And I think that's the reason why they shadow ban me.
Well, yeah, you get Trump derangement syndrome. But I look at Harley's page where I transmit or broadcast to, and I look at my private personal page, and I get like all kinds of views, but on the paranormal guys, I get nothing. So I don't know. I haven't figured out this dynamic yet.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to send the heads up to, and my morning just gets away from me. I have too much going on.
My two ex-co-hosts, one's monetized on Instagram and making money. The other is monetized on TikTok making money, and they just left me.
I just unfollowed Bobby Dizzle because he had been a dick to me a little while ago, and I'm like, you know what?
He's a dick to everybody, so I wouldn't take that one personal.
I don't. Yeah, but you know, I used to be told that I was intimidating and abrasive.
Well, you are.
See, I don't see that. One, I want to know why. I want to know what it is. So
You were trained to be. It's your verbal judo. You were trained to be. You can't help it.
And I want to stop that. I don't want to be that way to people, especially now in business.
I don't know how to untrain verbal judo. You've been conditioned to it for years.
Unless you are, what's her name again? What's it? Diane Cray Cav.
Who the hell is that?
She was in this pissing match on Facebook.
Oh, okay. All right.
America is more like a business and should be ran like one. No, it shouldn't. That's the problem with T-Rump. You
don't think so?
No.
Hey, I did. Well, I need to get out of here, but I did hear one interesting view yesterday, and I know that you will probably disagree with this, but just hear me out. Just don't interrupt me.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Now, I am not for or against the troops on the ground in DC. I don't know where I'll land on this one yet, because as a firefighter, paramedic, you're supposed to have benchmarks. I don't know what our benchmarks are, and I don't know our exit strategy. So I'm pre-qualifying it with that. So somebody presented me to an idea yesterday. Now, I can't personally speak for this because they're saying it's Black culture, but I may be able to understand it, having been on the streets for so long as a paramedic in the rural area, this urban, I don't know, the bad areas of town of Atlanta. So hear me out. All right. So we've got the troops on the ground, and we haven't had a murder, which has been traditionally in DC. I'm going to call it black on black because statistically that's what it is. We haven't had one. And this guy presented to me, he said, do you think they've broken the cycle? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, these young kids, it's typically, and he lives in this area. So this is his words, not mine, but it made me pause. He says that kids go out and all they see on the street corners is their mama selling themselves. And this is in the bad areas of town. I'm not typically saying this about all DC. These are his words. He sees drug deals on the corner. If some guy's got a diamond necklace on, somebody robs him for it. He sees these things. These young kids go out, and this is what they see day to day. And he said to me, do you think, because when you pin on a badge, it makes you different. When you wear a uniform, it makes you different. You wear a uniform for a reason, because it makes you stand out and it makes people look at you different. He said, do you think if we save one child from going out on the streets and seeing this, and they go out on the street corners and they see a man that looks like them or a woman that is wearing a uniform that lives in their neighborhood, do you think we've made a difference and could have broken the cycle? And I mean, that just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was like, in so many weird ways that makes sense.
Sure. But then
because that's what we do.
If your guy is listening to your show today, tell him I said thank you for proving my point why the troops don't belong in DC or Los Angeles, because that's not what they're being used for. If that black military member, that black
it's a policeman,
is in the hood. No, I've lived in DC too. Don't even try that.
Well, no, I'm just saying, what if it's a man in uniform? I'm just saying a man in uniform or a woman.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Maybe the military, because it's a new uniform that they haven't seen before.
Could be.
And when they see an automatic weapon in that person's hand, that's something they only hear about in their gangster movies. But police doesn't work because police have already been disrespected.
Agreed.
Now, if bringing the military in, and that does get respect in these communities, and it does change the course of a young man's life, fine. But then put the military in the communities with these crimes.
But
don't put them in downtown LA on a loading dock where they're literally sleeping on top of each other, and don't at Union Station when there's nothing more than tourists until the military got there, and then demonstrations pop up.
Oh yeah, I agree there.
Put them in the rough neighborhoods, and let them help patrol the rough neighborhoods, and let them do community policing like the real police tried to do, but federal funding wasn't there for.
Mm-hmm. Well, and local funding too.
We didn't have this I forget what her last name is, but Chief Kathy in D.C.
Oh, she's a loser.
Crime was down because police were driving around with their lights on.
Yeah, I saw that trend. Yeah, it's everywhere.
You could see she got that from Spain, apparently.
They're doing it everywhere now. So,
yeah. Yeah. Ken says, "Welcome to the Yergs Up the Middle."
I say she's a loser because of what she did at the communications center. So,
well,
she has wrecked it. Holy cow!
My sack at WFO wasn't a fan of her either. I'll leave it wide. I'll say my one sack at WFO, Special Agent in Charge, was not a fan of her either. But she dropped crime because she'd allowed her police department to look like the people they were policing. Facial hair. She allowed facial hair. She allowed interactivity with the people. And she encouraged it and required it. So, yeah.
I mean, I think that's a good idea.
If Trump wants to actually lower crime in any of these cities, one, do it in conjunction with the city government, which he hasn't done. Where applicable, like California, do it in conjunction with the state government, where it's required, and he hasn't done. What Pritzker's laughing at him.
Well, he's
Chicago PD already said no. They're not assisting in any task forces. The people of Chicago said, "We'll old school your ass."
Yeah, I don't know about that. There's a lot of videos on YouTube or Twitch or TikTok.
They're going to be bringing. Yeah, you know about those. You need to listen to my whole show. You learn about those videos.
I don't have time for your show. I got stuff to do.
There was a video that went out of some violent crime in a quote unquote blue city. The resident that went on camera to the right wing TV news.
Oh, that's not what I'm talking about, but okay.
Was proven to be from a red city.
Well, I don't know about that one. I can't say. All right, I got to get out of here. So what you're saying is if it makes a difference in one person's life, we shouldn't do it. Got it. Check.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's laws for a reason.
Well, I understand that.
Donald Trump are proven to stretch those laws for their own personal gain.
Well, but see, here's the caveat of that. If we allow him to do it, that means the next person come in, being Republican or Democrat. Yeah, we've already set a precedent. So I'm with you on some of it.
You get Congress to grow a set of balls and cut his funding.
That's not going to happen. They don't have a set. They haven't had a set. So
they will in 2027.
Nah, I don't know about that. I don't think they ever will, as long as we allow companies to buy them.
If we still have free and fair elections.
Oh, we will. We will. All right, I got to get out of here. My chat's over here yelling at me, so I got to go. I ain't got time for your shenanigans. So
let them yell.
Yeah, well, they might one day make me money. Ken, come over and listen to me. I might say something stupid, and you can be mad at me about that.
Have you decided anything about Channel 12 yet?
I've been sending him my shows, and I don't know. He hasn't answered me back really, so I don't know where we stand, to be honest.
You don't know where you stand, and you've been sending him shows anyway?
Well, no, I mean he's wanting to upload those shows, and he's going to upload them, and he knows that they've aired on YouTube already, but I don't know, because I said I wanted to make other content, and we have kind of not communicated since then. I don't know if we're talking about a joint comedy or what we're talking about. So that didn't really answer your question, but I don't. He hasn't communicated much back with me in the past week, and I think it's for some personal reasons he has. So I haven't bugged him, but we're supposed to be trying to figure out. I think he wants to do, and I hope not, because I'll probably not be for it. I think he wants to do like Bigfoot festivals. I'm tired of those people, so I don't need to prove to anybody. I know it's out there, So. Yeah. I'm tired because all those people do. I couldn't tell you how many. Me and Bobby Dizzle does too. Get pictures from people with freaking red circles around dark spotches. And it's like, do you see it? No, I don't. Yeah. And so and then you got what? I don't know. I could get on a whole rant about that, but I'm hoping that's not what he's wanting to do. But I have a suspicion by some of the other people he's asking in the paranormal Bigfoot cryptid world that's where he's headed, and if so, I'm going to out because I don't want anything to do with that. Because one, I don't want to go on public speaking. Two, some of these people are nuttier than me, which is saying something. And so, I mean, you can get me. I can believe in psychics and UFOs and Bigfoot and the lockdown. I can believe in a lot of things, but some of these people that come in, they just turn right or left or run into a brick wall, and I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, I got an email from an agent yesterday that was very strange about one of the authors. Okay, so I don't know. Some days I think about just quitting this whole damn thing.
Yeah, remember who we do this for, not each other.
Yeah, I don't do it for you because I piss you off daily, and Ken apparently. So.
That's
and
good.
yes, I will say something stupid. I always do. I seem to do that daily. I'm pretty good at it. I'm a proliferator of ignorance.
Comedic relief. That's it.
All right, man. Well, let me have the radio, and then I got to get out of here before they come over here and beat me up. I know they're listening. So,
Sport Cat's up next on Mastiff Media Radio Network, and also you can go to Para or Normal Guys, or just search Sport Cat shows on YouTube, and you can watch them there. Ready to take the radio?
Yeah, man, give it to me. Let Daddy in control.
All yours.
All right, Daddy is in control, so I'm going to leave you. Love you, man. Long time. I'll see you tomorrow. I need to nap the show. Talk to you later. Bye.
Sport Cat's up next. That's it for us. I'll be back tomorrow with God knows what. See what Trump can fuck up next. That's it. I'm out of here. I got to go get lunch and lots of editing to do. Thanks for getting off the porch and running with the big dogs and going with us straight up the middle. We'll see you tomorrow.